Hi everybody, my name is Nix Marikuma, and I'm the owner of Marikuma Healing. I apologize in advance for the funky connections we're gonna have. Oh my god. Alright, before we get to Virgo's March reading, we are gonna read a little bit from our book, The Complete Grimoire by Lidia Pardas, alright? Where you can have magical practices and spells to awakening your inner witch. All right, let's get started. We're still in chapter 1. We are going to tackle, do I need a coven to practice witchcraft? We're about to find out. No. By the definition, a coven is a group of witches who voluntarily practice together, following specific rules. All right? There are different types of covens drawing upon different traditions, and as with any activity group, they also depend on personalities of the members. Belonging to a coven is a personal decision that works for some witches and doesn't work for others. There are pros and cons to both options. Keep in mind that choosing the solitary path doesn't mean always being alone. There are open circles that welcome solitary witches to celebrate rituals and Sabbats, which we'll get to more later on as we read this book. Okay? Because Sabbats are more of like the witch's wheel and kind of like holidays, I would say. Not necessarily holidays, but from January through December, right? There's seasons and there's holidays or Sabbats that tie into different turnings of the seasons, different forms of life, like life, death, and rebirth. You're going to see them in the cycle, okay? Again, we'll get to more of that information further down the road for this book. And you can always have witchy friends and learn and practice with them without having to be in a coven, all right? We're going to talk about the pros and cons of coven and solitary. So the solitary path is you doing it on your own. Like, for example, me, right? I do not have a coven. I do not belong to a coven. So I'm basically self-taught and I'm learning how to do things. Because again, I learn from what I'm reading, from others, and what I'm seeing in those that I can kind of just be able to get wisdom from. There's not somebody that's like, oh, let's go do this, or this is how you're supposed to do it, or teaching and guiding. It's just kind of like a one-woman thing, okay? And like we stated before, any person, man, woman, or person, right, any gender can be a witch. It is not a religion. It is a spiritual practice, okay? And you choose it because it resonates with you. It's a calling to you, and you choose to accept it. All right. Cons, all right? So we're going to do pros and cons of covens. Pros, it is more structured, so it has stability in a sense. It gives you that foundation. You make friends who have, my thoughts, I'm sorry. You will make friends who will help you when needing it. You may learn faster because there are people teaching you. So you do have structure. You can make friends that will help you in needing it. And you can be able to have people teach you. So you have guidance available to you if you do choose coven. Now the cons, all right? So the things that may not be so flattering. You have to respect the rules. If you guys listen to the own beat of your drum and you do your own thing, this may not be for you. I'm speaking as a creative individual that is more of a free spirit. So rules may not be your thing. This may not be for you. You have to adapt to scheduled dates for meetings. So there are going to be meetings and things that you have to be present in, or that you should be present in. And you're going to have to work around that. You're going to have to be like, okay, this may not be a good day for me, but you committed to it. So therefore you have to give your time, energy, and effort towards. You may not get along with all the members. Some personalities may not be your fancy, bro. They may not be your cup of tea. Like I said to a lot of you guys, I'm not a cup of tea. I'm a goddamn daiquiri. All right. I am a slushy with alcohol and candy and sweets and spontaneism. I'm not tea. And if I was a tea, I would probably be like the most like herbal induced strong tea. The tea that makes things fun. You guys know what kind of tea I'm talking about. If you don't worry about it. Now, let's tackle solitary. All right, the solitary path, the pros and cons of that. Pros, you have more freedom. You get to have more freedom in doing what you want and learning what you like instead of being tied down to one thing and one style. You only work on what interests you and you learn at your own pace. So, for example, I like to learn all types. I'm not really stuck into one category of my interest because all of it interests me. If you guys watch Owl House, right? I'm like Luz Ninjas from Owl House. I want to do it all. Like, all of them are so interesting. Different styles, different ways, different traditions, different things. I'm just like, oh, this is all so amazing. Like, I choose all of them, you know? Okay. And you get to do it at your own time. Like, sometimes you don't have time to practice. So you can try a little bit more on this one. You practice with other people only in the ways you want to. So you can participate with people when you feel like it and in ways that you feel comfortable for or interested in. All right. Now, the cons, the not so flattery part about it. You can get lonely. It is true. You can feel pretty by yourself because, again, it's just you and your craft and your god or goddesses or divine entities or spirits that you work with. Like, it is just you figuring this whole thing out by yourself. I'm on the solitary path. I'm telling you guys, this is true. It can be lonely. It can be lonely because it's just like it would be nice to have people to help you out when you need it. Some guidance to like show you the proper way of doing it, but you're just figuring it out on your own, and it can be really frustrating and lonely. It may be more difficult to find guidance when you need it. Like I stated before, you're figuring out a majority of it on your own. And some people, like everybody has different ways of doing certain things. So you're going to have to kind of figure out what is a calling to you and how to do things proper, and make sure you do extra research, that you're not just jumping on this one because this person said it. You know what I mean? You have to be able to double check your facts. You are responsible for all the planning, scheduling, buying supplies, and etc. You are in charge of your own stuff. And I promise you guys there will be a video at some point, maybe like next month, where I talk to you guys about how to get cheap. Like how to get your supplies for your spiritual stuff for cheap. Okay? Like how to make it on your own or where to go to get things without killing yourself trying to find the best stuff. Because a lot of the tools you can find around the house. You don't have to buy this new dagger or this new athame or this new wand. You can make a lot of it on your own, and it just takes a lot of time, and it makes it even more personal when you use it because it's something that you put your energy into. It's something that you put a little bit of you in there, and it will work for you, but it sometimes can be a little inconvenient and can feel overwhelmed, especially when you're trying to get certain ingredients or things for certain rituals, spells, potions, and charms, as well as just practice to get used to it. Anyways, next up we will be reading, we'll be reading Can I Practice Religion and Be a Witch? Okay, and talk a little bit more on that. Remember, guys, always slay the day, be happy and be gay, stay amazing and stay safe. I love you guys, and if you haven't already, follow me on YouTube. Marikuma Healing is the name. The logo up top is where you'll find me. All right? Peace out.